often and how long do you need to focus on what you want before you finally get it? Hey, happy shiny puppies. This is Melody Fletcher with Deliberate Receiving, where the law of attraction finally makes some freaking sense. Today's burning question comes from anonymous awesome dude who wants to know, Melody, what is your belief about the focus part in the process of manifesting? In other words, how long do we focus on our desire? Throughout the day? At least 5 minutes a day? Several hours during the day? I've heard LOA teachers say to hold a mental picture of your desire with a steady will. But wouldn't that be exhausting? Or is it really the more we focus on our desire, the longer we focus on our desire, the more energy we put into our desire, the faster it manifests? So it's really a matter of how much attention we give our desire that determines how soon that bad boy comes to us? Well, awesome dude, I love this question because it's one that I get all the frickin' time. And it stems basically from a misunderstanding of how the manifesting process actually works. So I'm more than happy to clear this up for you once and for all today. The short answer to your question of, do we have to focus on it more and more and more to get what we want, or is there a correlation between how much we focus on it and how fast it comes, is nope. Sorry to disappoint you, but focusing on something all the frickin' time isn't going to necessarily bring it into your reality any faster, because it doesn't really depend on how much focus you give it. Whether or not something comes to you today or whether it comes to you not at all is a matter of whether or not you're aligned with it. Is there a vibrational match between you and your desire? That's the only thing that matters. And in very, very short, concise terms, how can you tell if you're matched up with your desire or not? Well, it comes down to how you feel. When you are aligned with who you really are, which is where all the great stuff is, when you're aligned with that frequency, you're going to have an emotional feedback. Your emotions are your feedback system. Remember that. And that emotional feedback is going to say, yay, green light, you're doing really good. In other words, you're going to feel good. If you're not aligned with what you want, you're going to have a negative emotional feedback. Red light, you're going to feel bad. Now, if you don't pay attention to that negative emotion, that signal, that feedback is going to get louder, and you're going to manifest more and more stuff that evokes that feeling within you, more and more experiences, for example, that make you sad or angry or frustrated or irritated, to show you that you're holding on to something, that you're holding on to a belief, that you're not aligned with the frequency of what you want. So how much focus do you actually have to give something? And what's this focus even all about? Well, the act of focusing on specific things is a tool that we use to figure out what resistance you still have. So for example, if you want to live in a new house, then if you focus on that new house and it doesn't really feel that good, notice that you have to pay attention to how you feel, and it doesn't really feel that good, then that means that you have resistance. So you're not feeling that good. Now, if you could just go off and feel amazing doing something else and never think of the housing issue, then that is all that you would have to do, because feeling good is all that matters. That means that you're aligned with who you really are, and all the good stuff's going to start coming in. The problem is that most people can't do that, particularly with things that they really, really, really want, a desire they've had for a long time or a strong desire. You can't just kind of get rid of it out of your head. So you're thinking about it, but you're thinking about it in a way that's causing discord. So now you're not feeling that good. So you're activating the resistance. And that means that what you want can't come to you, because now you're not aligned. The way that you're feeling is letting you know that. In that case, it can be really beneficial to focus on what you want and then see what obstacles present themselves. And as you get rid of that resistance, as you shift the things that are making you not feel good, you're going to be able to think of that topic in ways that feel better and better and better. It's going to start to feel better and better to you. You're going to become more and more and more aligned. But this is an exercise that we do in order to get you aligned. Focusing on what you want does not actually bring that thing about. Now, I know that some of you are wondering, but what about in the instances when I've thought of something and I got that? Like if I focus on a butterfly and then suddenly I got a butterfly in my reality. What about that, Melody? Wouldn't that have been my focus bringing something about? So this is a little bit more advanced information, and I'm going to take you down that rabbit hole just a little bit further today. When you have a thought, an idea, an impulse, that's a manifestation, which means that you did not actually come up with the idea of thinking of a butterfly, then focus on the butterfly, and then bring that butterfly into your reality. What happened is that you focused in a way that aligned you with what you wanted, and the first manifestation that came in was the thought, the butterfly. As you focused on that, it aligned you more and more and more, and then the next representation, the physical representation of that frequency could come into your reality. You're not even creating your thoughts by yourself. You're receiving it all. That's why I named my business Deliberate Receiving, because it's all about what you're receiving. The thought that you're receiving matches the frequency that you're aligned with. So basically, your focus, while it is very, very, very powerful, is really all about how you feel. You're attuning yourself to certain frequencies. The thoughts, the ideas, and the emotions that come to you are in direct response to what you're attuning yourself to. Your emotions are your feedback system letting you know how close or far away that frequency is from what you really want. The thoughts and ideas are coming to you as a response to what you're focusing on and what you're attuning yourself to. So if a thought comes in that doesn't feel good, don't focus on that. If you can't stop focusing on it, figure out why you can't stop focusing on it. What belief are you holding on to that's causing you to think that that's a better feeling thought than whatever the alternative is? But if you have a desire, focus on it by all means to figure out how good you feel about it right now and whether or not you have any resistance to it. And focus on it by all means if it makes you feel really, really good. That's what it's there for. But simply focusing on that does not actually bring it into your reality. Focusing on it in a way that feels good brings anything that feels like that into your reality. And if you want to go back to the blog post that I published just a little while ago about expectation, this all ties together, because this is why you don't want to have an expectation of specifically what your manifestation needs to look like, because what actually matches the full-on feeling that you're generating is probably going to be way better than the thought representation that came in. So the house that you're currently imagining doesn't even come close to the house that you can manifest. Want to know more about how the law of attraction actually frickin' works? Well, then come to my site, deliberatereceiving.com, and pick up a free copy of my ebook and audio, and, well, never wonder again.